Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be talking to you guys about basically the reason why your hair is probably not growing. So people don't realize that there's a lot of things that we can do to also hinder hair growth. Sometimes it's just not the fact that your hair just won't grow in general. Sometimes it can be directly correlated to the fact of you're either doing something or not doing something, or there could be many factors, as well as some things that I have experienced in the past because my hair has been stunted before, and I've talked about this many a times on my channel. So if you want to know these 5 mistakes, then just keep on watching. So the first thing that I want to talk to you guys about is definitely overwashing. So this is one that a lot of people don't really think that will stop hair growth or hinder hair growth, but if you are doing this one right here too much, then it can definitely work against you. And I have a prime example. I used to like wash my hair on a weekly basis. My hair was growing, you know, I had a lot of hair growth, but versus when I started to do a more spread out routine. So I went from washing on a weekly basis to washing my hair on like bi-weekly basis. My hair actually grew a lot more during that time. So honestly, it's just that key rule of leaving your hair alone, letting it doing its thing. Of course, this is all going to depend on the hair type that you have, the wash routine that you have, things like that, what you do on a daily basis. But I was able to get away with not washing my hair for 2 weeks. And now, currently, I don't wash my hair as consistently as I used to. And I see a lot more growth. So, number one, very much overlooked, overwashing your hair can definitely be a direct correlation to stopping hair growth, because it can, one, dehydrate the hair. It can do a counter effect. So of course, washing your hair is supposed to hydrate it, but you never want to do anything too much because it can start to work against you, like I mentioned. If you are someone who washes your hair on a daily basis and you have not seen anything, you know, happen to your hair, then great. These are just going to be my 5 mistakes, by the way. These are not going to be like universal mistakes or anything like that. And people have all different types of hair types and textures and things like that. So what works for me may not work for you. These are just my top 5 mistakes, and I don't want this to be like a negative video. Right, so number 2 is definitely using the incorrect products or using products that are not technically good for your hair. It's not just pertaining to products that are for say not labeled as natural, because there are many products on the market that are labeled as natural products and just like so much good, but it's not actually, because when you turn around on the ingredient list, you pretty much see that it's not all that product is saying on the front. So my suggestion is for you guys to turn your products around, read ingredients. Also, just because a product is good for one person doesn't mean it's going to be good for your hair. So test out different products, but at the same time, have a limit on how dirty you will go on your products. There's some products that are just far out there. They are not worried about your hair health. They're worried about so many other things besides the hair health. And then there's products that keep health at the front of the surface and are more focused on making sure that the people who buy their products actually end up having healthy hair and not just popping curls, or not just a product that smells extremely good with tons and tons of different perfume. If you want to make sure that your hair growth is at the most ultimate health, then you want to get products that are going to be in alignment with that, you know, goal that you have. You don't want to get a product that's not really in alignment with the goal that you have, and so it starts to turn everything around and undo all of your hard work. All right, so number 3 is definitely going to be switching your routines way too often. Another one that can be easily overlooked. So I actually have an example of this. When I first went natural, I was trying to figure out where, you know, what I was doing, how I was going to get into the groove, what routine was going to work best for me. And I was switching my routines up so much to where I literally didn't know what was working for my hair versus what was not working for my hair, because I wasn't given enough time to even try out the things that I was doing. So certain techniques that I was doing, I would only do them like one time, and then I would be moving on to the next thing because I've seen like a YouTube video where someone else does something different. So when you're you know, trying to grow your hair and you're trying to reach your goal of healthy hair, you have to test out things for at least, you know, a month or more before you can deem them like not something that you want to do, or before you can say, okay, this is something I want to do. So make sure that you're sticking to a routine for a little bit of time so that you can see how the results are happening on your hair. Because if not, then you're going to be all over the place like I was when I first went natural, where I didn't know what was working, what was not working, and I was just pretty much all over the place with what I wanted to do with my hair. I had no structure in my routine, and when I went to the Diva Curl salon way back when, the hairstylist noticed right away. She asked me like, do you have like a certain routine that you're doing? The back of your hair is super dry but the front of your hair is not. Like, what do you do in your routine? And I could not tell her. I was like, oh, I use deep conditioner, and then like sometimes I do this, and then I seen this video where you're supposed to co-wash, so I did that too, and then like nothing was structured, so my hair was kind of like just like my routine, all over the place. Okay, so number 4 is definitely going to be over protective styling your hair. So I get the feeling that the word protective style sometimes can make people think like, oh, it's gonna protect my hair, so let's just do it all the time. If there's not one thing that you take away from this video, it's the fact that anything that you overdo, even if it's initially a good thing, it can affect you in a negative way, because you're supposed to have some type of balance in every single thing that you do. If you're a person who overdoes protective styling and you're always braiding your hair, you don't let it ever be free, you're always, you know, in your hair twisting, doing something to your hair to where you're just constantly wearing protective styles. People who wear wigs really have issues with this because their hair doesn't breathe a lot. That can sometimes work against your hair because it can cause thinning, breakage, and most importantly, it can cause your hair to feel fragile. So if you are going to be a natural that mostly wears protective styles, make sure that you have certain weeks or certain months where you have your hair out, just so you can let your hair breathe. You're gonna notice that hair growth is not going to be as quick, like you won't notice hair growth as fast. It will take a lot longer. And once again, the protective style is supposed to be helping your hair, but overdoing it is going to like switch that around where it's not going to be no longer helping your hair. There's constant pulling going on when you having like braids and things like that. So make sure that if you want to keep up to date on your hair growth and you want it to be a bit faster, that you allow your hair to breathe. This one is super important. So lifestyle, diet, and stress can 100% affect your hair growth journey. So I actually had a issue with this in the past. This year I had a very stressful thing happen, and I think I told you guys about this just a little bit, but I was just not paying attention to my hair. I could not be bothered. And I noticed that my hair was like starting to look dull, not doing the things that it was doing before, like looking very lustful and shiny and nice. And my hair was just like all over the place. And I went to do my hair one day and I thought, oh my gosh, why is my hair looking like it's starting to change? And the reason why is because I was just having such a stressful beginning of this year. Your body always notices when you go through those type of huge changes, and when you stress, it affects everything on your body. And so I never knew, like, when people would say like, oh, stress makes your hair like fall out, blah, blah, blah. I knew that was a thing, but I never knew that stress can just really affect the way that you look in general. Basically, like if you're always stressing and you're not having the right lifestyle as well, not really taking care of yourself, it can also reflect in your hair, and it can cause things like thinning or your hair to shed more than it normally does. Or like in my case, your hair can just be dull and lackluster, maybe because you're dull at the time. You don't have a lot of light within you, so maybe your hair is not, you know, as beautiful as it normally is because you don't feel that good. I mean, that's just how I'm putting things together. I know that stress is something that you cannot always control, but if you can pick yourself up and just like start, you know, doing things that you love and paying attention to yourself and giving yourself self-care and self-love and just saying, you know what, some things are out of your control. then that's a lot better for not only your hair, but that's a lot better for yourself. All right, guys, so like I mentioned, these are my 5 tips, but everyone has different tips. Everyone has different mistakes that they've done and that they've been through, and I can actually go on, but I'm not gonna do that in this video. But if you guys want to see another video with more mistakes that I have done, that I have direct experience with, then let me know down in the comment section and I will definitely get to that question. I want you guys to let me know down in the comment section, what has been big mistakes that you've done in the past, and has it affected your hair routine? Also, people who come to this video can go down in the comment section and see what other people have done, especially if they're new to their journey and they just want advice from those of you who have been on your natural hair journey or hair growth journey for a while now. Also, if you guys want to see more hair growth videos, make sure that you click over here, and I'll have them right here so that you guys can click on this playlist and see all of my different tips and things that I have for hair growth, as well as some of my routines.